SCB Global is more than just a collaboration company. We are connecting businesses around the world with one conversation at a time. Welcome to the Team Me Up podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Team Me Up. This is your host, Nabeel Mahmood, with SCB Global. What a year it has been. And what a way to start the year. I've got Saif Ahmed with SCB Global. He's our CEO on the podcast to kick off 2024. Saif, thank you very much for taking the time to join us today. So before we get started, let's review 2023. Could you share what happened in 23, provide a little bit of a recap and your thoughts on the year 2023 in general as it entails to SCB and the technology?
Hello, Nabeel. Good to be back here. Thank you for having me. So, good question. For us, for SCB, I think 2023 has been a very momentous year. It's a year where we took on many new staff. We embedded the new staff. And that's primarily because of the need to service our customers with the best possible quality of service that we can give them. And that needed us to go out there to many places to find the right staff and, of course, train them as well. But really, what it came down to was solidifying some new joiners who subsequently have done very well, and now they're part of the team and fully established. So that, I think, was a big momentous event for us, because we took on roughly 35%, just under 40% new staff in 1 year. So it needed a lot of effort from many people to recruit, to train, to embed, and then, of course, for the staff to go out there and play their part. But I think the reason why, of course, we've had to do that is because of surge of new customers. And particularly, we had many new customers who are spending more than $1 million per year. We value all customers irrespective, but I think having those larger customers has really challenged us to ensure we get many new staff to look after them. And the year itself, I think we've increased revenues probably in the region of 80-90% year on year. So that's also, of course, great. But the biggest thing is that we've taken on the new staff and embedded them. Yeah.
Wonderful. I mean, so that's increased efficiency, good product quality, good response time, so on and so forth. I mean, getting closer to the customer, addressing customer challenges, and being their voice and understanding the business case. So that's great. So, Saif, you and I have had several conversations over the years as it entails to how the industry is doing. And it's not that far back that we need to look at, right? So right before COVID, collaboration platforms and platforms such as Teams and others for that matter, they were still very whimsical, right? I mean, it was still kind of like very disruptive. Not everybody had bought in, and bam, COVID hits, and there you are. Everybody had to work remotely. We created a digital workforce that was totally remote. And we saw a significant increase in collaboration platforms being accepted by the old guard as well. And we've gotten out of COVID, I hope so. How has the industry shaped, transformed, and or how has it done in 2023?
Good question. So the post-pandemic and, of course, the chaos that ensued a few years back, I think that, to me, there's two aspects of the industry. The customers, the buyers, the people who need the solution versus the people providing it. So from the buyer's perspective, from the customer's perspective, they really are now a lot more focused in terms of what they need for not just this year, but for the next 3 to 4 years. And it usually is around how they can make their organization far more efficient than what it was and what it is today. So efficiency is a big driver that I am seeing as a reason for customers to change from the previous collaboration system to usually Teams. I know there are many people out there who feel this is a free horse race. Many people feel that. Recently, I went to a Cavell event in London, and they run these events and they have research and various different stats to back their research up. So, from their perspective, from Cavell's perspective, they felt that Microsoft would be the leader going forward from now for the next 5 years or more, followed by Zoom, and then trailed by Cisco because of many legacy customers. But I personally disagree with that in some way, not entirely, but in some way, whereby I feel Microsoft Teams will take far greater lead from Zoom, and Zoom will be in the middle place and quite far behind, trailed by Cisco because of mainly legacy systems, etc., and legacy purchases. So the industry now is very much from where I'm sitting, looking at Teams and to some extent Zoom, but Teams more. And it is about how Teams can deliver the functions and features and facilities for that organization to be fully collaborating in an efficient manner. It's not just about video conferencing that Teams is known for, or the audio conferencing that Teams is known for, or the calling, the voice, and the international DDIs and connecting to the public network. It's far beyond that as far as SCB is concerned, and that's where SCB has played a pivotal part in shaping the next generation of Teams features and things to do with improvement of Teams. In terms of what it has or how it comes out of the box. So, for example, many customers need advanced routing. They need reports, many different reports that help them to understand how their team is using Teams or the call flows. You got things like faxing and SMS, and there are many other host of things that we as CB bring to Teams that actually has made it a far better collaborative platform than what it comes out as a box. Of course, Teams, you need Teams to begin with, to start off with. So that's how I've seen the industry from the buyer's perspective and from the seller's perspective, which is, of course, where SCB lies.
Understood. So you had mentioned earlier in the conversation that our team has grown significantly across the world, roughly about 45 to 50% additional headcount in 2023. Now, growing as an organization, culture is imperative. What culture does SCB need to further develop in order to succeed in the coming years? And what's your strategy there, if you don't mind sharing with the general audience?
Sure. It's roughly 35 to 40% increase, just to reiterate. The biggest and the most important part of the culture for us is enablement, enabling the team, our SCB staff, to be in charge of their work, their liaison with the customer, and the ownership of their tasks and their day-to-day performance. That is the most single key important thing that is given to our staff so that they can go out there and perform. And that is very essential for us because we have teams in different parts of the world. If we didn't have that, I think there would be many breakages in communication internally as well as our service. And we don't see that. We see our customers are happy to be serviced by SCB. Our customers are getting what they wanted, and they have received as a result the good service that we have provided and our staff have provided. And so that part of the culture is very important for us, and taking initiative and ownership. So these are related subjects and related items, but really the individuals, our staff members, them taking their ownership and acting as the owner of that service.
Wonderful. Yeah, so teamwork, collaboration, and making sure that the people take pride in what they deliver. Love it. Now, the question that has been on the radar for a bit, everyone's talking about AI, artificial intelligence. Everyone's talking about large language models. Could you share what your stance on it is? And also, how does SCB play in the whole equation of AI, machine learning, large language models, and all the technologies that are sort of disrupting the space?
That's the big subject. Artificial intelligence. What I've found, most of the AI software provision solution today is not AI. There's nothing artificial about it, and there's nothing intelligent about it. Now, I'm making big, bold statements here. What I mean by that, I will explain. I think when people look at something like ChatGPT, the most famous of recent AI, and its capabilities and what it could do in the future, and as well as what it can do now, there's an understanding that a system, a software, and there's a processor of some sort processing the commands and processing the questions and processing the answers, etc. That's fine. But when we see that being translated to the real world practice, to the real world needs, most of what I'm seeing is actually your everyday usual query being sent to the database and responded to as same as what it was done and how it was done a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So I don't see that being very artificial. I don't see that being very intelligent, but I think it's been promoted as artificial intelligence, even though I believe AI will go very far into the realms of technology, to the point that in future, in 5-10 years time, it will be very different to what it is today, entirely different. And then I think we will see the real AI and the capabilities of AI then, because we're in the infancy right now of AI and the big data, what it was big data, and now we're talking about big language and etc. These are all premature discussions, I feel, right now. And yes, we're talking about it, but I'm saying we're just talking about not much, even though I should be saying a lot, but I'm saying it's in such infancy that we need to wait 2-3 years before things start emerging and shaping. And in 5 to 10 years, things will really shape up as to what it can do, what it will do. And unfortunately, I think, and that's just my personal view, in 20-25 years time, when it will be its 5th generation or whatever generation it will be very different from what it is today. And it could be that machines will be running a lot of things that today people are running. Now, at some point, someone will say, hang on a minute, every time there's a new technology, people are fearful. But guess what? It all pans out. It all happens and people get retrained and people get to do new things. But here we're saying we're going to take people out so people can't get retrained, because the machine itself will be learning to look after itself. The machine itself will be the manager of itself. The machine itself will be the director of itself. So I'm saying there'll be far fewer people involved with it in 25 years' time versus next 2, 3, 4 years. Right now, it's all fine. And so I can see major potential problems coming up in the future because of what's been started today, unless we as human beings, we take more charge of it and make sure we include and be inclusive of people. Then it's fine. A person or people will be retrained from X to Y, just like we have retrained people from farming machinery to now looking after software and other systems that does farming. But going forward, if we hand over everything to machines and the intelligence beyond people, then there's nothing for us to do in the future. So that looks bleak. And I know it's not a good thing for me to say, but I'm saying people need to take charge and we'll be fine. If we don't, we will have problems.
Absolutely. I mean, I think there is a significant amount of marketing hype that's caused by the pundits that are not necessarily the technologists. first of all, like you've said, there's nothing artificial about intelligence. It needs to be called actionable intelligence. And secondly, it's really far-fetched, the whole idea of machines, training machines. It's still sort of out there. I think, and I believe the jobs are going to shift. The culture is going to change as well. But human should always be in control as long as we do the right thing. So having talked about artificial intelligence, large language models, and other technology changes, what are some of the priorities for SCB in the coming year? What are you focusing on, and how do you see us progressing in 2024 and 2025?
Thank you. The most important priority at the moment for SCB is to launch our new add-ons and features for teams, which we are expecting to do around April time. And some of the new features will incorporate ways on how the customer can choose which parts of the system they need to take for themselves. At the moment, a lot of things are bundled, a lot of things come as a set piece, but our next generation software will be such that the customer will have choice. If they want items 1 and 2 and not 4 and 5 and take 6, that's fine. At the moment, 1, 2, and 3 and 4 may be all bundled together. So they may purchase something that they don't need. They may take something that they may not use and therefore pay for something and be a waste. So that's going to be a paramount important thing for us coming year. And I think that will also shape the market differently, whereby SCB will be offering those choices and flexible choices to the customers versus other entities that may not and may continue to sell the bundle system, the bundle packages and software that comes as one piece. So that, I think, will be a major important thing for us in 2024.
Wonderful. I can't wait for us to share that with the general public and bring that to the market. Saif, this has been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for joining us today and sharing, recapping 2023 and sharing the vision for 2024. Thank you very much, folks. Thanks for joining us today. This has been an amazing start to the year. And please make sure to follow, subscribe the Team Me Up channel at SCB.
Join the revolution. Find out more at scb-global.com.